Uncovered is the story of a fearless female journalist who takes on a corrupt mine magnate. The film is set to delve into some of the country's most sensitive issues, such as land and the political landscape, while changing the narrative and showcasing women in a powerful, positive light. It features actors such as Thandeka Malinga, Nqobile Khumalo, Sthandiwe, Kgoroge, and Dumisani, Mbebe, just to mention a few. Well, the film is directed by Zuko Nodada, and he's here with Fezile Makhanya, who is one of the actors. It's great to have you in studio, James. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Zuko, won't you please give us a brief synopsis of what this film is about and why it was important to tell a story of this nature, especially one that casts a positive light on female and their role in our society?
Okay, just briefly to tell you about the film without giving the story away too much, because I still want you guys to go and watch it.
Of course.
It is about Aluta, this young journalist who's very ambitious, wants to take over from Frank Drake, who's the owner of the mine, coal mine Shift Inc. And she believes that one day she will be the CEO. She doesn't see Frank as someone who's corrupt and as someone who's lying and using him and using her in the process. Until her sister, who's a journalist, Upumla, dies, killed by Frank, obviously, because she's investigating Frank Drake, who's selling a ghost mine to the people of Somkhele.
Ooh. A story that sounds so familiar when you look at the South African landscape and all the different things that, you know, happen and we see transpire.
Yes, exactly. And to touch as well on your other question about having females taking center stage in this movie. This idea started, it was planted to me when I attended the SAFTAs. And I remember that year there was no category for Best Actress in a feature film. And for me that was a crisis. And immediately I had a story that I wanted to tell, and I was like, okay, this story needs a female lead. And for someone who was raised by a woman and who's always gotten my sister and my mother in his corner, I always know that women bring change, and women are what are the future, basically.
Listen, Zuko, you're my favorite. Bring us into how you fit into the entire story.
Okay,
which character do you play?
The character I play is called Hack. He's a guy from Ekasi, you know, typical dude, but he's a computer genius, you know, who just so happens to be friends with Aluta. I also don't want to give too much away, but people definitely need to watch the movie. This is actually my first film, like, ever. So I'm super excited to be a part of it, and also working with Zuko. I've never worked with him before. It was such an amazing experience. We shot it in KZN in Newcastle. Wonderful people that were there, that were hosting us. It really is a movie that people need to watch.
But so I want to talk about the issues that we see play out or that are tackled in this film. The issue of land is a big debate at the moment for all South Africans. Why was it important to just highlight that in this film as well?
Basically, without land, we don't have an identity. You know, I mean, we are lost. So we need we don't need to tiptoe around those issues of land. And, you know, going to Newcastle and seeing the people of Newcastle suffering, working the land that is dilapidated, that is making them sick every day, you know, planted that seed for me to tell this film. Because we shot with people that work in illegal coal mining in Newcastle, and that land was supposed to be rehabilitated in any case. You know what I mean? And it was never rehabilitated because the people that are making money out of our land don't care about us. You know what I mean? And it is evident in the film as well that they don't care. They don't, you know what I mean? So now it was important for us to highlight those issues because people are dying, people are hungry, people don't have land to stay in. And for them to suffer while surrounded by all these riches, because Newcastle has coal mines all over, and none of them own nothing. So they work the land every day, and in the end they get nothing out of it.
Sounds awful.
They just get sick and they die. And that is our story. So it needs to be told, and we don't need to tiptoe around it. It was important for us to bring this debate into the table. And this film has been in works for the past 3 years, so it was not something that we thought about now. But because of funding and other stuff, it took time. But we always knew that this is an important subject for us to tell. Because, I mean, we can't be working the land, taking these minerals out of the land and giving them away and left with nothing. So we need to look at those things.
At some point, the land needs to nourish the people that work it.
Yes.
Fezile, I just want to talk about your personal experience. I mean, you spoke about how great it is to have been a part of this film, but what are some of the things that were significant for you that you took away, especially looking at the issues that are highlighted, which really do reflect what is happening currently in our society?
You know, I remember when we read the script, you know, about the whole land issue, and when we actually shot a couple of the scenes in Newcastle, and what Zuko was talking about was actually quite heartbreaking. When you actually see those illegal miners actually mining in a place that is very hazardous to their lives. I mean, people are getting sick there every day. There was actually a house that was literally built next to, like, it's almost like a hill, and it was starting to like fall off piece by piece, and there's an old lady that was staying there who was promised that she was going to be built a house elsewhere, but that was never done. And you actually think about it that, you know, actually this movie speaks about the challenges that are happening in everyday lives and some of the South African people that live here.
Sure, and just to wrap it up, guys, when can we see the movie?
The movie's coming out in, it's August, ne?
Yeah, it's coming out on the 30th of August. Stay Kineko. We have a media preview on Wednesday. Stay Kineko sent in. But 30th of August, the movie is out.
All right, awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and for coming this morning.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, we just spoke to the director of the film, Zuko Nodada, and and Fezile Makhanya, who is one of the actors in the movie. The movie is, of course, about a fearless journalist determined to expose and end corruption on a mine in KwaZulu-Natal. Please, let's go support local films. We don't want to see any local films screens being reduced at any cinema. So it's all up to us to make sure that we support and we give back to the people who tell our stories. Time for a quick